Reducing pollution. Ways to minimize plastic usage on a global scale. Plastics are a major part of modern life, from construction materials to food packaging. Yet concerns are growing globally as their environmental impacts become increasingly evident. Producing plastics causes major planet-warming greenhouse gas emissions, while the accumulation of plastic products in the environment pollutes lands and oceans. The consumption of plastic is projected to nearly double by 2050 in G20 nations without significant global action, causing even greater damage to the climate and nature, according to a recent report by the Back to Blue Research Initiative. UN countries started negotiations in November over a treaty to reduce pollution from waste such as plastic bottles and food wrappers, aiming to create the first legally binding agreement on plastic pollution by the end of 2024. According to Back to Blue, only a comprehensive global plan with the most ambitious policies such as single-use plastic bans and taxes on plastic production will have a meaningful impact. Plastics are causing widespread pollution on land and at sea, causing harm to human health and damaging vulnerable marine habitats such as coral reefs and mangroves. Between 400,000 and 1 million people are estimated to die each year in developing countries because of diseases such as diarrhea and cancer related to plastics and other mismanaged waste, according to a 2019 report by the charity Tear Fund. The production of plastics also has a major impact on climate change, as they are made from fossil fuels such as oil and gas. Through their life cycle, plastics emit 3.4% of global planet-warming emissions, according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Around the world, only 9% of plastic waste is recycled, according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which predicts that global plastic waste is on track to almost triple to 1,231 million tons in 2060 from 460 million tons in 2019. It found that single-use bans were the most effective, but said that if these were implemented in G20 countries without any other measures, plastic consumption would still be 1.5 times higher by 2050. The world generated an additional 6 million tons of polluting single-use plastic in 2021 compared to 2019, according to recent research by the Minderoo Foundation in Australia. Analysts say one of the challenges when it comes to reducing plastic consumption is how cheap it is to produce, thanks to fossil fuel subsidies. At the moment, virgin plastic is massively cheaper than recycled plastic or reusable plastic. More financial incentives are needed to level the playing field, to make recycled plastics more appealing, along with taxes on virgin plastic. Steve Fletcher, a leading plastics expert at the University of Portsmouth in Britain, said, "Another way to reduce plastic consumption is to introduce system-wide shifts towards reuse. This could include making products reusable by design and creating processes such as a sports stadium reusing cups and cutlery, much like how traditional milkmen reused glass bottles. A UN treaty could create guidance and standards to help countries decide which plastics are unnecessary, assess what they can change and enforce these decisions," said Parker from Economist Impact. She said their report shows that policies are not impactful enough when implemented alone, and that a whole suite of solutions will be needed to make a real dent in plastic consumption. There's just no real, cohesive, harmonized approach to this problem.